So why do we see core competencies to be very important according to employers? They see core competencies to be very important because it reflects the value, knowledge, attitude, and skills that they want, because they deem that to be very essential to some specific disciplines, which helps them to what perform. And it also helps in creating customer value on the part of uh, the employers, because mostly the what who wants core competencies mostly is a requirement by the employer, because they see the value it brings in, and it's all about what value does it bring to the organization. And it also enables them to perform very well through its manpower, which is we the job seekers or we the employees, and that is why they require that from us. Because if we have those core competencies, then we come in to perform as expected, which what eventually benefits the employer. So that is what why they require that to be very, very crucial. And then some organizations, you see core competencies where they will talk about collaboration, because they know it's not a one-man show. So they need more people to be able to what? To have those core competencies so that they can succeed in that role. So we've touched on some of the skill set, which what I'm going to share is some of the what employers are looking for at the moment with in this 21st century with job seekers, and your analytical skills. And all what I was talking about, what Gideon talked about, it's all about our analytical abilities. Because I'm thinking, if you don't think, if you don't analyze the situation, then you won't say, you know what, let me just stay past the 5 o'clock to wrap up what I was supposed to do. And if I don't have the analytical abilities or skills, then I won't be thinking, oh, maybe I should go in early just so that I don't go and then start the class late just because I am late. I want to set up before they come in. I don't want them to come in and I'm setting up, or I have to stay late some days just to wrap up things because it's urgent. So these are the qualities they look for in people. And sometimes you go to an interview and they will ask you a question to see whether you really have this analytical skills that you put on your CV. So when we put in those skill set on our CVs, we have to be very careful about that, because behavioral interview questions or situational interview questions will dig in to confirm whether you have those skills or not. And then we see communication. And I think all what we've been talking about, your innovative skills, your flexibility, strong planning skills, and organizational skills all comes into also you have to communicate with people. And we did some research, a few questionnaires with a few employers in Tamale within the non-profit organization sector, and communication was ran through all the questionnaires that the few questionnaires that we got administered. Communication skills ran through everything. Digital literacy was another thing that ran through all the questionnaires that we got administered, which is your ability to what? Communicate via email, because memos are emails, reporting, minutes, and all those things. So what we are planning to do is my organization is going to be running a workshop on a professional emailing, because I've for us receiving emails from people, for us to help them with their job search, work on their resume, we've seen that to be very, very important. And I'm working on a workshop that we will be delivering very soon, just so that people have that, because not knowing how to professionally write emails, even the subject lines and what have you, can cost us our jobs as job seekers. And also when you go to work, you need to stay on a professional ground, and knowing professional emailing also demonstrates what good leadership abilities to an employer as well, which we might not know. Because if you are writing to me who is same age as you, shouldn't just be under, is your friend, so you have to write on a professional level, if you are same age with under and working in the same organization with under. So we will run a workshop on that very soon. And you can go and work with that digital literacy. So if you don't have computer skills, it is important that you start to work on that, because every job, as most of you can tell, every job will ask you to what? Submit a resume, submit a CV, or bring in your CV in person. And when you go to your CV, bring your CV in person, you have to type the CV to take it. You can't write it with pen and ink. Nobody does that anymore. And then if you go for an interview, sometimes they might give you a test to do. And then when they are inviting you for an interview, what do? They either email you or they text you. So digital literacy is very, very important. And an employer will not understand why a university graduate will not be computer literate, because they see that to be a requirement. And again, the questionnaires we administered, literacy skills was also another thing that the employers mentioned. Basic arithmetic skills, and then computer skills was also a point that reflected in all the questions administered. Problem solving skills, very, very key. Problem solving skills, very, very key. And the examples Gideon and myself gave all comes to problem solving skills. And then also the example being innovative is also a problem solving skill there, because you are being innovative by what? Using your problem solving skills to try something different. And by using that to become what? A risk taker, a good risk taker, because you want to come out with something because you see a problem and you coming out with an innovative idea to address that problem. So employers want that. And then the problem solving skills also comes to where Gideon talked about, you if something is not right, employers want people who can work under minimum supervision. Yes, I want an employee that can use what? Think outside the box, can use their thinking skills, can use their problem solving skills, decision making skills, their creativity to be able to what? Say, oh, I was supposed to do this with Anda, but she walked me through that, how to do it. But unfortunately today she's not here. Should I start whilst waiting for Anda, or I should just sit down and wait till Anda comes and then we'll start tomorrow? So these are little things. Oh, this was supposed to be done, but I know I don't know how to do it very well. But I know Gideon knows how to do it. So should I go talk to Gideon and see if he has time so that we could do it? You telling the employer, you showing the employer your troubleshooting skills. But sometimes we don't think about it that way. But these are the little things they look at. Employers will look at, they will pick that from your day-to-day activities, your reactions, your behavior on the job, which we will sometimes underrate. And then interpersonal skills is very, very big. How to relate with people, which is collaboration. And that the skill also was one of the skills that the employers identified. And then team spirit, because they believe in what? Collaborating with people. Because if you don't collaborate, if you don't relate with people well in a team, how are you going to do everything by yourself? An employer will not bring just you alone to work. You have to work with people. So if you are not able to get along with people, then it becomes an issue. Even your manager, the CEO needs to have strong interpersonal skills so that they will be able to do what? Relate with people to achieve results. And then the cultural competency, which is also being somebody who is very sensitive to diversity, embracing each other's uniqueness on the job, respecting that, and working with them. I might not like Gideon, I might not like Frank, I might not like Latifa, but should I say because I don't like them, I won't work with them? No, we're all there for a reason. So I have to just respect that and then work with Latifa. We have our differences, but our common purpose is what is important, which is meeting the value of the organization, where we come in to help provide the customer service. So that is what is important. And when you go in and you don't demonstrate that, then yeah. And sometimes they might ask you a question about Give an example of a time when you had a disagreement with a co-worker, where you had an issue with a co-worker, and then you start to talk about how dumb that person was, how this, and you think, oh yeah, oh this person, you think, oh, you're showing how good you are, but in a way you're telling them you don't embrace each other's people's uniqueness on the job. And then also having the business insight, which is very important. The more you have the business insight, the more you are able to provide what suggestions, ideas to your employer as to how you can do things to improve. And it shows how you have that at heart. And that shows that if we are able to offer you a leadership role, then we know you can always think outside the box to bring in new ideas to promote or to help to grow instead of just being a follower. Employers don't want everybody to be a follower in an organization. You want people who will work with you, people who can also contribute, who can critique what you're doing and set you thinking, so that you will be they can what they can improve. Because when you set them thinking, you ask critical questions, you are telling them that, you know what, let's do this, let's think about it. You're telling them you are paying attention, you are a critical thinker, you are analyzing what your company is doing, and it also shows how you have the company at heart and want them to succeed. And that is why you are critiquing things and setting them to think. You're critiquing and coming out with your thinking, your ideas, and not just condemning. Critiquing is different from condemning. You're critiquing because you are saying maybe we should do something different way, instead of saying this is bad. This is bad. Why do you say that? Because if you are critiquing something, you are giving reasons why you are critiquing that. And the critiquing should make sense. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay,
No, please.
thanks.
Ma'am. Yeah.
So now we've talked about what employers are looking for in the 21st century. Now let's see, based on knowing what they say they are looking for, how can we brand ourselves on the job, knowing all the skill set that they are looking for, knowing all the qualities that they are looking for? How can we brand ourselves so that we can stand out? So that we can stand out, showing or demonstrating or depicting what they are looking for, the qualities or the competencies that they have highlighted as very key to what they are looking for in employees. And this personal branding is going to help you what demonstrate or showcase all those qualities. So now let's see, what does it mean? And it says that personal branding at work can play a crucial role in helping you to attain what a leadership position. And I did relate with some of those in my my earlier discussions. And your personal brand is the image and reputation you cultivate among your colleagues. So you want to stand out. So how you brand yourself is you. It's an image and a what reputation that you are what creating for yourself. If you go in and you show a bad attitude, then that is what you are going to be recognized for, and that is what you are going to be remembered for. I'm sure we've all had supervisors or co-workers that will say, oh, I miss this person so much that this person is leaving because this person was hardworking, this person was very polite, very respectful, and had the I can do attitude or I want to try attitude. And then also when you do things effectively, it can make you stand out for sure and demonstrate your leadership potentials. And I've given examples in that. Or maybe like Mohammed talked about being innovative. These are some of the things that you do to stand out, to show that you are a leadership material. Maybe you go into an organization, they are trying to research on something, and then you say, oh, you know what? I did research methods as a course in a university. So I don't mind taking a lead role in that, just so that I can also I'll take a lead role, but I want to get so that I'll get guidance from my manager. You showing the manager that, okay, You're showing me something, and then you do that. You do your research, you design the questionnaires, you bring it for feedback and all those things. You are building yourself, you are branding yourself to stand out from those who said no. Or you go into work every day, you want to help other people, you do your work as expected, you are making a name for yourself. And no employer would want to bring in a new person when they have somebody that they can groom. And for those of us who have joined our job search skills workshop, remember when we were categorizing how employers fill job opportunities, the number one that employers talked about was what? How they fill job opportunities was to what? Promote people within. So how do they promote? It's when you stand out, when you brand yourself to stand out, and there's a position, they promote and give it to you. You get a promotion. They know, oh, Gideon is always this or that. We just need to train Gideon a little bit, and he'll be able to what? Perform as expected in this position. So why not give it to him instead of bringing in an outsider? So these are some of the things that happens when you brand yourself and you stand out on the at work. And it is also important to be genuine and consistent in your actions and communication, as authenticity is crucial. It's a crucial aspect of an effective what personal brand. You have to be consistent with what you are doing. Not today you are good, the next moment something else. Oh yeah, this week, the whole of this weekend has been on time for work. Oh, and then next week something else. Then you are making your employer not to be sure of where to place you, because it's like you keep changing. And don't do it to just because you're doing it for doing sake. Do it genuinely because you want to gain something out of it. You want to show who you want, to show how you like the job you're doing. You want to show how you care about the company that you work for. And I have my able volunteers that I can say that they have demonstrated this to me. They've helped me understand that they've branded themselves in a way that I can sit anywhere and brag about them and say how they have the organization at heart based on what they are doing. And there's no way I will ever have a job and will not give it to these individuals based on the sacrifices they've made for the organization, working like a paid employee where they are not getting paid. So they are making a name for themselves. And if there's an opportunity that falls somewhere and I have to refer them, I will do that in a heartbeat, because I know the employer that I refer them to is going to have a good employee. And it is also said that over time, as your personal brand gains power, you will be more likely to be recognized as a leader and given opportunities to lead and influence within your workplace. And you can also ask for this. And remember, I gave an example of maybe a research project that you need to do. I remember when I used to work in a action aid, there was an opportunity for us to uh, provide. We were doing community needs based. We're using the needs based approach, which is what, doing more of community providing resources. So where there was a time we were talking about, we have these widows, we have women, seniors at home where they don't do anything. So what can we do for them? So we're trying to build an animal a ruminant project, and then for some reason we didn't know, should we get women involved like the seniors? And then there was an argument that women don't rear animals and all those things. So I took it upon myself and said I wanted to go and then conduct some survey, ask some questions about it, see what it is. If it's a taboo, then I know. If it's not a taboo, then we'll see what we can do. And upon my what? So I went in, took all that upon myself, did the survey, got the information, shared it with the organization, and then we were able to issue out loans to women to buy animals to rear and then pay it back. And it so happened that there was no taboo. It was just the what, propaganda and then the hearsay. But when you go to the old people who know much, they always told me, it's even women who take care of the animals. When you come, the old ladies, our mothers, they feed the animals. So why can't they have it? They can have it. It's just that it hasn't been something that we say, that is why. So this is what I did. And I took that upon myself to go and do it. So What value did I bring to the organization? I brought a value whereby they were able to what? To help this vulnerable population that would have left out support. And personal branding at work also is not just about self-promotion, but also delivering value and being genuine. So I just talked about the value which I brought into the organization, which is what? To create a different area of intervention for a group that we were leaving out of the support that we were providing, because the women who were old couldn't take loans to go and do business. Microfinance won't be helpful for them, but when we give them loans to purchase animals to rear, that is what they do. They are at home all the time so they can feed the animals. I remember one time going to Vitin, and then the old lady came out and the animals, she was carrying food and the animals were running to her, and I'm like, okay, this is a confirmation for me as well to give examples. So this is how you brand yourself. This is how you try to stand out so that an employer can see the value you bring to them. Any questions so far? Any questions? Any contributions? Questions, contributions? Yes, go ahead. Anybody wants to contribute something? Or I should keep going? Okay. So let's keep going then. But please, if you have a question, let me know. I don't want to miss anybody's question or contribution or suggestion. So now let's look at how personal branding can lead to a leadership role on the job. Your viability is very important, which is said that developing a strong personal brand makes you more viable within your organization. Yes, it makes you stand out. And when people recognize you as an expert or a go-to person in your field, they are more likely to consider you for a leadership role. So if I was on the job and always, oh, if we have something in a particular area, maybe I have interest in a particular area. So all that I do is what? Want to always take up what? New challenges in that area, just so that it broadens my what? My learning. So if you are such a person and you keep doing that, I tell you, if it happens that they create a department which is into something like that, you'll be the first go-to person for your employer, because you have demonstrated, you've done a lot, you've shown that you have that interest, you have interest in that area, and they know if you have interest in a certain area, what do? You have the passion for something, you do it more. You always want to excel in that area, you explore more, you bring in what? All you problem solve so that you can get more information, so you'll be the first person they will go to. Maybe I like research work. Maybe I like computers. Then what you do is you want to always learn something in that area. So if it happens they have a role, then yes, that you will be the first person they will come to instead of going to an outsider. Or maybe there's some workshops that they always want people to go to, and then you keep going to those workshops because you want to learn something. If it happens that you go to those training and it happens that your organization eventually wants to what? Create something within those training area, that area, maybe come out with an area of intervention related to that training area that you keep going to, you'll be the first person they will come to instead of going to a different person. And also credibility is very, very important when you want to brand yourself, which can eventually lead to a leadership role. You have to be credible. And remember, we talked about genuineness when we were talking about personal branding at work, how you brand yourself at work. So a well-crafted personal brand enhances your credibility. Yeah, because oh yeah, and that, oh yeah, Gideon, yes, I can trust Gideon in this. Oh, he's this, he's that. And it is also when you are what? Consistently delivering what? High quality work. Remember I talked about, oh, today you are this, tomorrow you are that. No, you have to be consistent. Show highlight your expertise. And I just talked about what highlighting your expertise, which is you love something, you like a certain area, so you always want to learn more about that area, and you always want to take up what responsibilities related to that area. So that is how you will get in. You might see somebody who starts as an admin assistant and eventually becomes an administrator. Why? Because the person built that path for themselves, worked their way up, demonstrated, branded themselves to stand out, to show the potential they have to succeed in that administrator position. And that is why they eventually got to that role. And if you earn the trust in your peers and superiors, yes, it is very important. It uh, paves way for you to become what? To eventually find yourself in a leadership role, because they can all vouch for you. And remember, I just talked about I will vouch for what my volunteers who are working just like paid employees without no salary. I will vouch for them. And if there's a role, for sure they will be my number one go to. If I have to refer them to somewhere where there's an opportunity related to what they have been doing, I'll be the first person to what? Vouch for them, and then to highlight what they will bring, to confirm maybe what they would have told the employer already. But fingers crossed, I'm hoping they won't go anywhere and leave me. I'm joking. And then also networking. If you are what? Branding yourself, networking is also important. Building a personal brand of always involves networking and forming strong what? Relationship with your colleagues. Which, if you form a relationship, what is it? Teamwork, collaboration, communication, what? Problem solving skills comes in as well, because you're using all those things. And then also you are what? Collaborating with what? Industry peers. Maybe you want nonprofit work, so maybe you building relationship with nonprofit managers, co-workers, program officers who are in different nonprofit organizations that maybe you always call to, you conduct informational interviews with them, or you attend seminars that are open to what? Not just workers in certain organizations, but are open to workers within that industry, people with that background that you go to, and also mentors too. And these connections can be invaluable when what? You are seeking leadership opportunities or support in a career advancement. So networking also paves way for leadership role. It stands out. That is why you go to a job interview, or you are using your reference, and your reference can talk more about what you have, they know you to be. And it's also just branding you, because you've worked your way to stand out, whereby those outsiders can also testify to who you are as a person. And then self-confidence is very important. Personal branding always involves reflecting on your strengths, your values, and then your goals, because those three comes in handy to show that you can what? Delegate, you can supervise, and also you have your employer as heart, and will come in to perform as expected. And these self-awareness can boost your self-confidence, to show that, you know what, I can lead, I can delegate, I can do, I know what my employer expects from me. And so if I'm a leader, I know what I can do to bring results that meets what our goals are as an organization. And then effective communication. A leader without what? Strong communication skills is not a leader. And when I say strong communication skills, it doesn't mean being able to speak good English. It's about being able to relate with people, being able to listen to people, being able to also write. Because if you don't have those qualities, then you will be missing out. You won't be able to stand out. And developing your personal what brand can help you refine your communication skills, because you get to understand people, you get to understand how to convey information to people, and then it helps you also convey your ideas and vision to others too. And that is what you do when you sit with your manager, when you sit with your supervisor and you're talking. your supervisor is able to pick these qualities from you as an individual, and then will relate that to what he or she demonstrates or depicts all the time in his leadership or her leadership role, and then see the connections and see the potential that you have as an individual. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, keep going. All right. Okay, I think there's a hand, right? Yeah, Gideon, go ahead.
Okay, so that was a nice one.
Mhm,
For the current corporate world and some of the areas that we work,
mhm.
understandably there are toxic work environments where
Yeah,
promotions and opportunities are not based on merit
yeah,
sometimes,
this
and
is
that
sad.
people inclined to tribal and other lines are given priority over others. How do you deal with a situation where clearly you know you are in line but you are overlooked? How do you deal with that?
So usually, my suggestion to people would be to speak to your immediate supervisor, not in a confrontational manner, but to just ask your supervisor, talk about, you want to just get some feedback about how do they see you, because you want to grow to a higher leadership role, and you've been doing this that to eventually, with the hope that someday you will get there. So you just wanted feedback from them as well as to how they see you, and then hear what they are going to tell you. That person will tell you, and then they say, "Oh, this and this and this and that, this is what I see, this and what and then you then ask, so what can one do to eventually get to a leadership role within this organization?" And then hear what the your supervisor will tell you, because that way you are not confronting that person, but you are telling, indirectly telling the individual that you want to grow, you want to grow, and you know you have some potential, but you want a confirmation or reinforcement from that superior of yours, and then hear what the person will say. And usually what I also tell people is, if you happen to see that there's no way you are going to grow within that organization, you are not going to gain a leadership role, then maybe you will look at other options too, which is where to look at other opportunities elsewhere, if that is an option, then yes. Because if there's politics in that area, then it becomes very toxic and then very difficult for you to get your way, work your way up. And when you are not able to work your way up and you are not careful, you tend to what? Not brand yourself well. You get disappointed, discouraged, demoralized, and that is when your productivity goes down. And when your productivity goes down, nobody knows why it's going down until you air it out. So if nobody knows what is going on and you are being doing that, then what happens? It goes against you. And I'll give you an example of a colleague that I had at work years back, and he got so sick and tired of the organization, and then he wanted a role. And with my in my organization here in Canada, we go by seniority, and it's a unionized organization. So somebody with seniority got the job, and he didn't get it, so he became disappointed, and then eventually was not performing, thinking that he was doing that to show them, but it was just that he thought he should have gotten the job, which he didn't get. So he was always late. He will come in, he doesn't care about anything. There were days when I'm running late and I message him, he'll tell me, "Don't worry, you get there before me." So, and we used to get along, we talk. So I had to sit him down and tell him, "You know what? You're doing that, but you are tarnishing your image. So how about, since you know there won't be any other position for you to take, then what you should be thinking about is maybe look for another job." So he started to job search, but that attitude was still there, where he was always late. He was not productive. And because it's a unionized organization, they can't kick him out. They can't fire him. You fire him, you have to justify, and they don't want to go through that. So they just left him. So what happened was he got a job, went to the interview, came and told me, "Anda, you know what? It went so well, but we'll see." And then his supervisor They needed two references, so he used my manager, our manager, may her soul rest in peace, and then used his supervisor, his direct supervisor. The supervisor was able to play around with questions, but our manager, who collaborates with that organization, was a government organization, couldn't lie. So she told them that he was not productive in terms of punctuality. She was honest, and she came back and told him that she was honest with them because she didn't know if he was going to be what he was going to do that in the new job, which would show that she lied to them about him. So she said the truth, and guess what? He didn't get the job. And then he came back to tell me, he said, Anda, you know what? AMC said the right things. I know, but you know what? I don't know. I'll see. So we had to have a talk. And then he eventually changed his attitude and started to look outside the organization because nobody knew why he was behaving that way. But me and him, we talked. So he tells me, so he decided to look outside the organization and then look for somebody else as a reference for him. And I tell you, his attendance started to improve because the person that was going to be the reference said, I can't also go and say something which will eventually come back to haunt me. So he tried to kind of comport himself. And then eventually what he did was to look for another organization and go to. And when he went in, he started from the bottom as a coordinator. And now I think he's a manager. So that is the suggestions I'll give. Take the good part of what I've explained, work with it, and then drop what you don't like about the explanation, the example I gave. Any more
Thank you very
questions?
much.
No problem. Because sometimes you might be at a place and there's no way no matter what you do, it won't work. And if you don't work, if you don't find your way out, you are going to eventually just ruin your reputation in the organization, which is what you don't want to happen. So try and see if you can talk to your manager, get feedback, hear what you do well, what you don't do well, and then ask, what can I do to, I want to grow. I want to become what? A leader in the organization because I love what I do. So what can I do to get there? And hear the feedback you get from your manager. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. So also to what? Brand yourself, you need to be innovative and a problem solver. And I think we did talk about this a lot. My Mohammed talked about being innovative. Yes, because it means you are a risk taker, but a good risk taker, not just take a risk for no reason, but you are what? A good risk taker. And I always tell people, if we don't take risk in life, we won't learn. We take risk so that we test our problem solving skills. If we are comfortable with everything, then what happens? And sometimes on the job, we tend to be very comfortable where we don't want to take new responsibilities to learn. And the more you take new things, the better you become. And I always tell people, when you are taking new things, you don't say, oh, yeah, I can do it. I'm a master of all. Let me try. If I'm not getting through well, I will come for help. Oh, you know what? I've never done this, but I'm going to give it a try. And for me, that is what has helped me to grow professionally. And I tend to learn bits of everything based on my passion and based on what I love to do. So being innovative, being a problem solver makes you stand out. You creating a name, you making a name for yourself. And then that is when your managers will see that, yeah, because if you are a leader, you have to be able to what? To problem solve. You have to be innovative to be able to come out with new ideas. Maybe we've been doing something old school and now we need to what? We need to go into something different. Maybe you are the what marketing person within your organization, and now you realize, oh, the way we were doing marketing, things have changed. You go and conduct a research and then come out with new ideas, and you want your organization to try that and see how it will work, and you are able to defend all that. You are problem solving for them an issue, and you are also what? Showing your innovative skills and your initiative skills as well. And then what? Leadership development skills too. You need to be able to build a personal brand where you need to continuously what? Develop your skills and knowledge. And how do we develop that? Keep going keep learning new things, being curious. Curiosity helps us build new skills. Because if you are curious about something, what do? You go and do your research. You explore more so that you can learn more. You can get enlightened about things. I create workshops. How do I do it? It's not because I have the brains to do that. It's because I use my creativity. I go out, I research, I compile information, I see information that is useful, use different areas, and then come out with the ideas to then compile my what presentation to share that will be useful to you. So these are some of the things that you show to an employer to show that you are a what a leadership material, or you are a what a managerial material. You might not be perfect, but you are saying you will try, which means you are a go-getter. You want to go and get out something. You want to improve. And that is why you always want to what take up new tasks so that you can what grow. And these are the potentials that you show. Oh, you know what, with Latifa, anytime we have this, I know she's so passionate about anything that has to do with the girl child. So any project that has to do with the girl child, she will volunteer. And when you are volunteering, you think your superiors are not paying attention. They pay attention to that. If you volunteer and you bring results, good. But if you just volunteer and they have to be chasing you for the results, then please don't. Then you are not branding yourself well. You are branding yourself to tell them that you are unpredictable. They can't rely on you, and you don't want that. Don't just take tasks just because you want to take it. Take it because you want to learn something and you want to also produce a result. And then with personal branding, that leads to what? Leadership role. It's also mentorship and mentorship opportunities. When you are actively working on your personal brand, you may attract mentors. You may have people that want to what? Work, learn from you. I know I have a few that will say I'm their mentor because they are learning, they like what I do, they want to get into that, and then they open up to learn. So these are qualities that you also show to that will lead you to what? A leadership role. And then be a role model too. And by building a positive what personal brand, you set an example for others. Your behavior, your professionalism can inspire others and lead to what? Leadership opportunities. Remember, we have what? People who learn from us. We have people that we inspire to be like them. And why do we like to inspire to be like them? Because they have certain qualities that we see and we like that. Or they do certain things that we like that. So that is why we want to be like them. So to be what? To brand yourself, build a positive brand, you need to set yourself up for others to see you as an example, to see you as somebody that they can what? Always reference to. Make reference to, oh, I like this person because this person is this person is that. And then it inspires you to what? Others to want to eventually be like you. The more you learn about somebody and want to be like that person, the more others will also want to learn to be like you. I learned to be like others, and I always tell people that I owe Mr. Tanko at Star Ghana. He is one of my role models. He inspired me to go to school in Canada, and today I am still in Canada. I always tell him I owe him, and he will tell me to stop saying that. And he had to. He saw the potential in me because I tried to do my best to stand out, to show that I loved development work. And based on that was when he kept what pushing me, and then eventually I got to where I am, and now I'm in a different career. And Dr. Abdullah at NDA, Mobson, some of you who are in Tamale might know him, is another person who inspired me to eventually set up this organization because of what? The personal branding, the way I branded myself, to confirm to him that, to let him be able to be convinced that if I do something in this area in Ghana, it was going to be helpful to people. So this is how little things might come up, which we don't always see. And then the alignment with your organization's value too, because if you brand yourself, in a way which aligns with what the organization wants, the values of the organizations, the goals of the organizations, then who wants to not let such a person be there? Because if you align your values with the goals of the organization, you understand very well the purpose of the organization, you produce results, you work towards what? You set objectives to meet those goals, then no employer will not want you to lead because they know you understand what they want. You understand why they are in existence. And if you understand and you know the results they want to get, you will do it very well. You will come out to what? Produce those results by what? Working, by demonstrating that you want to be there, by demonstrating that you have them at heart. Any questions so far? Anybody has a question? Please feel free to ask questions if you have to. Don't let me do all the talking. We can chip in. No wrong or right answers. We're all adult learners. We're all here to learn. We're all here to share ideas. So please keep asking questions. That is how we learn. That is how we open up to talk. Thank you. I see Sophia. Thank you,
Thank you.
sister.
Thank you so much too for the opportunity. It's been a wonderful learning for me,
No
and I just
problem.
want to commend you for this, and
No problem.
especially you doing it for free.
No
Thank you
problem.
so much. But I think I'll reserve my questions to the last end so that I can
Okay.
ask yes my question. But at this point, I just want to commend you for this opportunity. And thank you
Thank you.
so much. Branding is really very important, but then it's an unfortunate where some of us find ourselves,
Yep.
even though we have actually done some branding of ourselves unknowingly, and
Yep.
then your immediate boss might not see it, but
Yep.
then the superiors have seen it and have recognized you. So at
Mhm.
this point, I would just want to hold on to my next question to the tail end so that we see how we can go about it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. That is what I want to do. We have to work as change makers. What we do is we share knowledge, right? Because knowledge is power and sharing is what? Caring. So that is why I think I have to do this. It is a calling. I am part of the what? I know how we all started, how I started, and I think I should do that. And hopefully everybody is going to learn something from this. Will remember some of the deliberations we've had here, and then look at other options that will be available for them. And if superiors are getting it, are seeing your potential, keep going, and then it will show. But there will be other options that we can look at as well. So I can't wait to hear the next question that you'll be asking, and then we'll take it from there. So we've talked about how to brand yourself, what employers are looking for. Now let's go to the summary of everything, because professionalism is very key in succeeding or in depicting your what? Showcasing, branding yourself, and then also meeting the core competencies that employers are saying they look for in what? Job seekers and employees. So I always tell people professionalism is not just being able to wear what? A suit and tie to work, dress appropriately to work. It is what? How you conduct yourself at work. Oh, this person is a professional. Why do they say that? Is it just because the way the person dresses all the time? No, it's not just the dress code. It goes beyond that. It's your attitude, your behavior on the job. That is how an employer will then say this individual is professional. And the research we did, the survey we conducted, employers talked about professionalism, people knowing how to talk, people knowing how to carry themselves on the job. To be very important, your attitude, the way you communicate, the way you relate with people, and the way you relate with people falls under what? Interpersonal relationship, collaboration, diversity, being sensitive about that diversity, being able to embrace each other, tapping into each other's uniqueness, respecting each other's differences on the job, being able to what? Problem solve, being able to negotiate with your coworker. Because no employer is going to hire one person to be jack of all trades. You need to work with people. I always tell people, even if you are selling, you are a businessman or woman, you need people to patronize your business. And if you don't have good customer service, if you don't relate well with people, if you don't have good interpersonal skills, if you don't have positive attitude, you don't present yourself well, you don't conduct yourself well in your business, nobody's going to patronize that. So it's not just on the job, it's even also for us individuals who what have our own businesses. And professionalism also means what? Communicating effectively and appropriately, and always finding a way to be what? Productive on the job or within a team. So you see how those three are all connected: branding yourself, core competencies, and then professionalism. They are all what? Connected. And it is said that demonstrating professionalism can guarantee a positive first impression, and also a successful what? Interpersonal relationship and a lasting reputation within your organization and the industry that you work in. So you see how all those things are connected. So that is why we have to what? Pay attention to all these three. If we say we want to stand out, then we should be demonstrating all this. We should be professional. We should also be what? Connecting the core competencies that employers want, say they need job seekers of this 21st century to have, to for them to see that if you have that package, then you are now a complete package to what? Work your way up. And like I said, it might be not within your organization, but it might be also looking at something else that value that you have will be what? Respected and welcomed. And professionalism does not just mean wearing, I talked about it already, so I'm not going to talk about it. It means conducting yourself with responsibility, accountability, and accountability reflected in the survey that we conducted in Tamale. And it was with nonprofit organization. A few of the organizations that administered it, accountability was also a point that they raised, which is you have to make yourself accountable. Do you just come in as a number, or you come in to be productive? And sometimes we think because nobody's saying anything to us, we should not just care and do whatever, but you are branding yourself in that way. If you want to brand yourself well, then you should always ask yourself, what did I do today at work? Was I productive? You might get the money paid, but is that what you want? You want to also what? Feel proud of who you are, what you can do, what you have done, the difference you have made. And then your integrity too. You can what? Stand out boldly and say, you can do this, you have done this, and not, oh, I'm not sure. I remember one time we were helping somebody complete a form, and then we asked the individual, not in Ghana here, and we asked, what did you do at your job? I said, oh my goodness, can I even remember? Said, oh, you don't remember the work you did? He said, yeah, I always just pretend to do stuff and I'm not. And I'm like, so now you see that you don't, you are, you can't even describe what you're doing. So now if you go to an interview, how are you going to describe what you did for an employer to even hire you? So professionalism is very, very important. And I tell people age is a number. I always tell people age is a number, because when you are professional, it doesn't matter your age. You can be 60 years and not be professional. You can be 15 years and be professional. It all depends on how important that is to you, how you want to brand yourself. Because it's when you want to brand yourself to stand out, it's when you will consider professionalism to be very, very important to you, because the two go hand in hand together. And if you have the two, then obviously you are going to meet the core competencies that employers have highlighted to be crucial to them when they are looking for what? Sourcing for what? Candidates for employment. So now let's see what are some of the professionalism that we can demonstrate on the job. What do we think are some of the professionalisms we can demonstrate on the job? You can just raise up your hand and then share. Go ahead and share how or what. How can we demonstrate that? We've talked about what core competencies. We've talked about how to brand yourself. So I'm sure this should be a few points that we can share. So let's go ahead and share. Yes, Safia, go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity once again.
No problem.
To me, I think even getting to work on time is
Number
also
one,
a sign of being professional. You know,
the big
getting to
one.
work on time, you
Hmm.
know, going the extra mile. If you have to even close after your closing hours just to get things done,
Yeah,
I think it's also part of, being professional. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it's a big one. Yeah, this is a big one. And I'll tell you, I help people to look for work. I train people to put them in employment. And what I do is I tell them, uh, lateness is a no-no for me. I can never negotiate lateness with an employer. Your performance, I can negotiate because you are learning. But when it comes to lateness, I can negotiate that. Because if you don't go to work, you are always late for work. You are telling the employer you are not interested in the job. That is what it is. That is the bottom line. And I will tell my employers to fire my client that I have placed because the individual is always late. If I dig in and there's no issue, then yeah. And remember, for those of you who've joined our job search strategies workshop, we talked about when you are planning to what? Apply for work, you need to ask yourself how far you want to travel so that you avoid this issue of what? Lateness for work. Because if you plan, if you analyze all those things in your planning, it helps you to ask yourself, should I be going for a job that is an hour, 30 minutes, or I want to do 1 hour? So that if you just apply for any job and it's far and they give you the job and you're always late and tell the employer that, oh, because I live far, the employer didn't ask you. You knew the name of the company. You could have just Googled that to see the travel and then make a decision as to whether that is what you want or not. So lateness is a no-no. And employers will tell you they prefer individuals who will show up for work on time and do and work slowly than those who they can rely on, because you can't predict whether they are going to show up on time or not, or you can't predict if they are going to even stay up late. Those who come in late are always even the first to leave. They will be the first to leave. 5 o'clock, they have their bag, they are walking out of the door. And employers will also see whether you sacrifice to stay behind, like Safia said, to finish up work because you know this has to be done. You're showing the employer that you care about the business. And these are the little things that you do to also show to stand out from an employer. There was a hand up. Go ahead. Is it John? John, go ahead. I saw your hand up. If you're still on, go ahead and ask your question. If not, just stop me. Just raise up your hand again when you join. I don't know if you're still on the call. Great. Jerry. Okay, there's John in the name, so I got it.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Well, good afternoon from Ghana.
Good morning from Toronto here. It's 10:40. It's 10:46 my time, but it's all good. Just so happy to see everybody on, and we're having this
Enjoying the
discussion.
whole
It's good.
session.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's giving me a positive impact. And I have a personal experience with your point on being positive at work and doing everything, knowing very well that you deserve a certain position and then you are being bypassed all the time
Mm-hmm.
for one or two reasons you may not know.
Mm-hmm.
It actually demoralizes you,
Yep.
makes you change attitude,
Yeah.
But from the example you cited today, I think that
Mhm.
I've had a change of mind from now because
Okay.
it's about you. It's about
Yep.
you and
Mhm.
what you are looking for. So
Mhm.
whatever is happening around you, just keep going. Don't let that put you down.
Yep.
And I think that's a very big one for me going up
Yeah.
or going forward.
Yeah. And look
So
for
thank
other
you very much.
and look for other options and see if you are going to be you can negotiate. And if the negotiation is not
Yes.
working, you find other options. And that is why I said throw the question to your supervisor and say, what do you think about me? I want to grow, so what suggestions would you give me? I know I do this, I do that, I do that, but I want to know how can I get to where I want to go. It's like you're setting a goal for yourself, and you want the input of your what superior to help you achieve
Yeah.
that goal. So you put the person in that tight corner and see, but also keep branding yourself. Don't stop. Maybe it will show somewhere. That is why I said maybe look for other options, which is which other places do I think I can see myself valued. So now let's look at the qualities of what a professional. So it is said that employers want new employees to be responsible, team oriented, ethical. I think from our conversations, all these skill sets have what reflected. And then also to demonstrate strong interpersonal skills, communication, organizational, and problem solving skills. And if we need to show these set of skills, then we have to what become what professionals. We have to demonstrate professionalism. And then a good professional treats clients and co-workers considerably. If you go into a job, a workplace, and you don't treat your co-workers well, then no. And I always tell people who go into work, their jobs involve dealing with customers, dealing with clients, then you have to demonstrate professionalism. If you don't, it comes back to hunt your organization. When I act up unprofessionally to a customer or a client, it's not going to be under. When they say under, they are going to attach African Canadian Center to it because that is the organization that I work for. So that is why it is important. And if I don't treat my co-workers well on the job, it means I have no respect for the values of the organization or the goals of the organization, because with the goals of the organization, it is a team effort and not an individual effort. Our managers need us to succeed. As frontline, they need us to succeed. They can't do the work alone. And that is why we are there. So they have to also what respect us so that we can work together. So they have to also demonstrate this. And this cuts across every position, every organization, every business, be it private, public. Yes, professionalism is very, very important. And a professional is always polite and considerate when dealing with what clients and co-workers. Professionals demonstrate punctuality. Yeah, Sophia, your point is here, and meets deadline. So this is just what you talked about. And works well with others and flexible in accommodating to the needs of others and then their employer. And being professional helps you to achieve high quality results while impressing and inspiring others and feeling good about yourself. Who doesn't want to feel good about what they produce, what they do? So if you understand these points, you understand the meaning of this, then it makes you brand yourself and stand out, and then it helps you meet the core competencies. And an employer can take you in an interview and be able to pick all these personality traits from you, which you might not know, but an employer can just throw a question to you and get all those information at once. I can give you an example. I can ask you a question in an interview, a situational question or a behavioral interview question, and then I'll be able to tell whether you are what. You are a people person, you can accommodate people, you respect people or not. I can easily pick those ones. And the core characteristics of a professional, as we said, is what? Competency, knowledge, somebody who is what? Industrious, somebody who portrays what? Integrity. You feel proud of what you do, you carry yourself well. Respect, And then self-awareness and self-control. If you have strong anger management issue, you are somebody who talks loosely on the job, you have to watch that. To be a leader, you have to carry yourself. So your utterances can also go against you. You could be what? A very hardworking individual, but the way you carry yourself, you behave like what? A child, you behave childishly, and they wonder whether you can lead a team because that attitude, that behavior might not work in your role because you need to stand out. You need to be what? A role model to the team that you're going to work with. Much as you have all the skills, but your behavior, your attitude is what your employer might be worried about and would want to see an improvement in that. Not for you to be rude to people, but just to be able to what? Watch how you joke, how you say things on the job, because those little things could also cause you on the job as in terms of what? Branding yourself, which could lead to a leadership role. You don't want to brand yourself where they say, oh yeah, he's very good, she's very good, but I just tell you, it's just that she doesn't know how to talk. Sometimes she just talks and I'm like, oh, it's like a high school child. It's like he's talking to his friends when it's a work environment. And then also appropriateness, what is appropriate to say, what is not appropriate to say. And then confidence, yes, it's very, very important. So just a quick question, exercise that I wanted us to look at. Here, the activity is what? Safia is 19 years old and has her first job as an administrative assistant. She wears very low cut shirts, short skirts, heels, and lots of perfume. What might her attire lead her colleagues to believe about her? And what might the reality be? What do you think? Do you think she'll be portrayed as somebody who is not professional? Or the perfume is what her employees might, her colleagues might have a problem with? What do we think? I know it's we're past the time now, but we're almost done. So I'm going to rush. So in this activity, just look at, you are going to work. You are wearing what? A short skirt and then a low cut shirt, which everybody can see what is showing. So will that be depicted as a good person on the job? You don't want to show that. And if you go into a job interview, we always talk about dressing appropriate. So if you go and you're wearing what? Revealing clothes, you're not going to a beauty pageant, you're not going to a disco dance, you're not going to what? A date with a guy. So that outfit might not be appropriate. And also wearing perfume, lots of perfume might not be appropriate on the job. So these are little things because you're being mindful of other people too. You're being considerate about other people. So maybe you will not want to what? Smell perfume. And in this part of the world, in North America, wearing perfume is a big thing in workplaces because some people are allergic to that. So wearing perfume is very, very, it's a no in most organizations, most government organizations. You go, and even hospitals, you go in and you wear perfume, they can walk you out just because it could trigger somebody's allergies and the person might die. And so they put notices all over. And then here we have Jalil, a supermarket store clerk, who is an employee and does only what he's told to do and no more or less. Does he have a good attitude? Do you think Jalil is doing the right thing? Remember we talked about what? Working, what? Being able to what? Do more than be there to perform as expected, help, working with others. So if you say you're just doing your job and you don't want to do more or less, then you are not showing the employer that you really care about the company. And you are not showing that you are flexible. And I see people do that. And remember, Sophia talked about you stay over to do work. These are some of the sacrifices. And then also, if you say you are a team player and you just do your work and you don't want to do anything more or less, then you're showing that you are not a team player. So, and you are not flexible and you are not considerate. So these are some of the things that an employer will pick from you to determine whether you should be somebody that they should be aiming at to do what? To be a leader. So they watch all those things. So let's see what is not professionalism. Or what the do's and don'ts, sorry. Make it a priority to be on time for work. That is very, very important. When employers call your references, for those of you who've had your employers people call your references, ask them. They will tell you what they ask about is your attitude, not the job content, but your attitude. How did you get along with people? How did you do your work? Did you show up for work on time? Did you what complete assigned tasks on time? Did you show initiative? Did you show motivated on the job? These are the things, because that is your attitude, and the attitude is the driving factor to your success in the new job that they are just trying to hire you for. So that is what they look for. And also manage your bad mood. Try and manage your bad mood at work. For me, what I do sometimes is, some days I might just have my own issues going on, but I don't have to take it to work. So sometimes when I walk in, I tell people, last week we lost one of our colleagues who was a good friend, a very good person. So when I came to work Tuesday, I had to tell my group, the group that I was training, that they should just bear with me if see me not be very energetic like I used to be, but it's just that we lost a co-worker, and it's just uh, not a good feeling for all of us. So they will find me not look cheerful like I used to be. But as time goes on, I will get distracted, and then we will keep going, so that they know, and because they could read from my face, so that it doesn't look like it's about them. And it will always say, put your dirty laundry at home. And then dress appropriate. Dress appropriate is what we gave it an example of, what Sophia, where she's wearing what low cut shirts. You're not going to a date. You don't want people to see what you have. You need to also what dress appropriate, because you have respect for your position. So these are also things that are very important. And avoid using some profound words. And remember, I was talking about, you could be doing a good job doing everything, but the way you talk is throwing your leadership team off, and they are scared that this might not be good for you when you become a leader, because no leader, they don't want a leader who does not know when to say things and when not to say, and then will not watch their choice of words. And then do offer to help others too. So Jalil's case, Jalil doesn't want to help anybody. He does his, and then that's it. So then it means Jalil is not demonstrating professionalism. And then try to stay positive. If you try to stay positive, yes. And remember, we just talked, and then what? Jerry said, you know what I was thinking, I've changed my mind. Now I'm going to stay positive. So that is professionalism. You stay positive to eventually what? Accomplish what? Achieve results. And then always fight fair. Yes, I can disagree with my manager to agree. I do that. If something is not right, I go and then we talk about it, but I put it with facts, and not, oh, you don't like me. I say, I want to know, this is what I've observed. This is my opinion, but I could be wrong. But this is what I feel, and this is what I think. So I just thought we will talk about it. And then I hear the other side of the person. Maybe the person didn't recognize it, but maybe discussing it, yes. But I won't go to confront being aggressive. I'll be assertive about it. And I won't be also passive aggressive. Oh, maybe, yeah, you're right. No, 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 no. I go with facts and I give examples. That is how professionals go into what? Fight for fairness, or what? Equity. And don't gossip on the job. Yes. If you like to gossip, hearsay, you are not being professional. And don't hide from your mistakes. If you hide from your mistakes, then you're not being professional. Accept it when you are wrong. And then what? Ask for help to correct it. And don't lie about what you can't. And then don't air your dirty laundry to anybody on the job, be careful, because you do that, is going to come back to haunt you. People will come back and give you stories. So we've talked about what? Agreeing to disagree, being what? Fighting for fairness. So let's see, how can we what? Respectfully disagree. Yes, you can disagree with your coworker in a respectful manner and still maintain a positive working relationship. If I disagree with Safia, doesn't mean that she will be my enemy. No, no, no. I finish and then we come back to talk. And be professional, polite, and respectful when keeping that disagreement going on. If you are going to disagree on something, go in and talk about it in a polite mind, respectful manner. And remember, I did talk about have facts to justify, not just how you feel. You feel, you think, this is what you've observed, this is what you have seen, you see, you hear, then you use it to what? Disagree to agree respectfully on the job. And practice what? Reflective skills by listening to your co-workers also point of view before, so that at least you are able to what? Think about what the person is saying or repeat it, so that you can also bring in your point of view as well. And try to always find a shared what? Common outcome or common grounds to make the disagreement less what? Contentious, because you are all there for a purpose. You are there to serve an employer. So if you are disagreeing on something, come to terms so that you can resolve it, and then what? Move on. You two people can fight, and then they'll fire the two. I had a client that I placed on a job, went in, had a confrontation with a coworker. He pulled the lady by her hair, and they he was fired. The lady was going to place charges, but she said no. She decided not to. But both of them were fired because they behaved in an unprofessional manner. So both of you have to come to what? A compromise, and understand that you are there for a reason. You are there to serve the employer, and then see how you can what? Resolve your disagreement in a professional way, so that it doesn't escalate. And then also compromise when necessary, since you can disagree on some points and still achieve a goal. Yeah, maybe I've explained myself and you say, you know what, okay, now I understand, now I know, so that's fine. I take whatever uh, points you've made, so let's leave it as that and let's keep going. That is how we agree to disagree. But we don't disagree to win. No, we don't disagree to win. We disagree to come to terms and on a common ground, so that we can resolve an issue. And it's all about our interpersonal skills. If we know how to use our interpersonal skills very well, then we will be able to what? To succeed on the job. Because employers will tell you in what they look for as what? Employability skills, which interpersonal skills is one of the key ones. So they always say employability skills, because they believe you're going to work with people. So if you don't have that interpersonal relationship building skills, then you will lose out. It becomes very difficult for you to what? Work with other people. And hiring managers, I'm sure most of the positions that we all apply for, or we've ever applied or working in, we see how important, how valuable interpersonal relationship skills building or interpersonal skills is crucial, because we use it every day. So it also includes what? Your verbal and non-verbal communication, your body language, your speech, your writing, everything comes into play when it comes to interpersonal skills, and your ability to handle conflict, your teamwork, your empathy. Because if you don't have strong interpersonal skills, it makes it difficult for you to empathize with somebody, to listen to somebody, to even have a positive attitude. You always you pass judgments, you conclude, and you don't respect people's feelings, you don't respect people's other side of the story. You always think you are right. You always think you know everything. You don't think outside the box. You don't collaborate. You don't delegate. You don't involve. You are a one-man show because you think you know everything. And then also flexibility. is very important. Being flexible and positive helps you to be able to listen. And then also communicating well is very important and a criteria for success. Communication and interpersonal skills goes hand in hand. I have seen people where they think they know everything, so nobody says anything, or you say something and they tell, oh, no, this is not right. No, no, no. You put me down. You don't respect my views, then I don't talk. So if we are able to demonstrate, showcase strong interpersonal skills, think about what we can do, because when we are going to brand ourselves, we need this interpersonal skills to build rapport, to stand out, to show that we can lead people, to show that people can trust us, employers can trust that we can be there to work for them to meet their goals. And then we can also show that we are professionals. And when we show we are professionals, then we are showing the employer that the employer can always count on us to what? Do or put their name to a higher level in the business they carry. Thank you for your time. I am done with my presentation. Thank you for hanging around with me till the end.